Britney, Britney, Britney. I'll admit it. When I was first asked to do legal analysis of the Britney Spears story, I thought, do we really care? But after having covered this for many months now, I am a believer that this really is a fascinating story about when someone's entire life can be controlled by someone else. Today, there were even hearings on Capitol Hill. And tomorrow, a judge could rule to end the entire conservatorship. In legal papers today, Britney's lawyer is calling her dad, Jamie, a reported alcoholic and gambling addict. This after Jamie, who's been Britney's conservator, filed an objection to the choice for a new conservator to take over for Jamie. Now, Jamie has said he's okay with ending the conservatorship, but does not approve of the new person that they suggested, accountant John Zabel. There are also two new documentaries. Netflix's Britney versus Spears and FX's Controlling Britney Spears, which includes allegations that Jamie Spears was secretly monitoring and surveilling Britney.
Her phone, her own phone and her own private conversations were used so often to control her. You would be able to see all messages, all FaceTime calls, notes, browser history, photographs. It really reminded me of somebody that was in prison.
Now, conservatorship does not mean you waive every expectation of privacy. Is it possible there was a court order? It's possible. We should also add that Britney spoke out after the documentary was released in a now deleted message posted to her Instagram account. She called, quote, a lot of what was said untrue, but there was also a hearing today on Capitol Hill on conservatorship reform. This is Senator Ted Cruz.
Ms. Spears has fought this conservatorship, but it seems that at each critical juncture, the legal system has been designed not for her benefit, but to trample on her rights.
Ted Cruz is talking about Britney. But what I don't get is why more people aren't asking, why hasn't this conservatorship ended already? Meaning, why are they talking about replacement conservators rather than just ending it? There's got to be more to the story. Why isn't her lawyer calling to expedite the end of it? There's got to be a reason that this is still in place. There is a lot to dissect. Probably nobody better to join the conversation than attorney Tony Chicotel. He's handled multiple conservatorship cases and was also in the new Netflix documentary, Britney versus Spears. Tony, thanks very much for coming on the show. Appreciate it. You know, a lot of people turn to me and ask me questions about conservatorships, and I have to turn to people like you who are the real experts on stuff like this. You know, I keep hearing about, you know, all the complaints about the situation with Britney, the conservatorship, her lawyer, but doesn't there have to be some kernel of there because this conservatorship is still in place and no one's asking that it be expedited and ended immediately?
Yeah, I agree with you. There should be some there, but in all of my review of the case, I've never found it. Now, I've not been privy to all the documents filed in this case, and probably only a small fraction of them. But from an outsider's perspective, I can't find any there. And I've just really been scratching my head, completely puzzled as to how this conservatorship ever really got started in the first place and how the heck it's continued for 13 years.
Well, let me ask you, if you were her lawyer, right? You've now been hired by her. You're her new lawyer. You know, you want to end the conservatorship. You want to get rid of Jamie Spears. Don't you immediately file to end the conservatorship?
Well, it all depends on what Britney wants if she's my client, but I'm assuming that she does want out of the conservatorship. Yes, day one, as soon as
they haven't done that.
No one's done that, and it's the huge question in this case. It doesn't make any sense to me, and it never has.
So what do you think happens tomorrow? I mean, tomorrow is a big hearing where a number of issues are going to be addressed. There's going to be a lot of finger pointing. Do you think it's possible that the conservatorship will be ended? I'll give you my take. I don't think it's going to officially end tomorrow because her lawyer hasn't even formally asked for it to end. It's just Jamie Spears sort of saying, well, if everyone thinks that this should end, then I'm okay with it, is effectively what his legal motion said. Do you think that there's a chance that this really ends tomorrow?
Oh, I think the chance of it ending tomorrow are very small, maybe even just microscopic, because there's nothing in front of the court to rule on in terms of a petition to terminate. I suspect that the court may, I hope that the court tomorrow starts to lean in that direction, maybe put some pressure on the attorneys to file a petition to terminate. But I've been saying this for a while. I've been disappointed with the judge herself in terms of, I think just on her own accord, should be asking hard questions as to why this conservatorship continues.
Right. But the judge probably knows more than we do, right, about why the conservatorship started. And that's how I started this conversation, and that's how I want to end it, which is it is obvious that there is a lot of information about Britney Spears that we don't know. That doesn't necessarily mean the conservatorship should stand, but there just has to be a lot out there, because otherwise it just seems to me that this is not a complicated issue, and for some reason it's incredibly complicated.
Well, even if there was some significant facts that we just don't have access to that would suggest that this conservatorship was merited at any point, I still think the court has an obligation to look at 13 years for a younger person who does not, as far as we know, have a chronic progressive disease that would not get better over time, to fulfill its obligation for part of conservatorship should be restorative. And every year, maybe even every month, the court should be examining, why is this continuing? And if it's continuing for 13 years, I think the court has to start addressing, we're failing this person. How can we do better and get her out of this conservatorship? Having said all that, I still think that all of the protective mechanisms that have been put in place for Britney's own sake, or apparently for her own sake, could probably all be done outside of the context of conservatorship, preserving most of her rights.
Right. That makes a lot of sense. And that's why we have attorney Tony Chicotel to talk to us about it, whose expertise is in this area. Tony, thanks a lot for coming on the show. Really appreciate it.